Before this begins, I would like to say that this video is going to be completely unedited raw footage. It might be long or it might be short, I'm not really sure. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to upload it straight to YouTube. So a life update from 2018 into today. Or otherwise known as the year my life got turned upside down. So at the beginning of 2008, I started college. My sophomore year. Uh, my sophomore year, spring semester. That was what I was looking for, with academic probation. I went to the school therapist and was falsely diagnosed with bipolar disorder and severe depression. Severe depression wasn't falsely diagnosed though. They prescribed me some medicine that I had a really bad reaction to, and I missed a lot of school at the beginning of the semester. That resulted in me not being able to keep up with my work, and resulted with me losing all my scholarships that I had. Basically a full ride. So I didn't go back the last semester, fall semester. My family life was a wreck. My brother hated me because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was just staying in bed all day. I wasn't doing the work that I was supposed to be doing. My mother and father didn't know what to do. I was threatened to be kicked out multiple times, almost once a week at certain points. And then in the middle of 2018, in the summer of 2018, I got a job after the semester was over and I ended up losing everything. I got a job as a third shift worker. I would work in an office just sorting documents and stuff. Towards the end of August, I was switched over to a driver for the company I worked at, and it was a nice change of pace, and it wasn't as difficult, but it was really boring. I started out listening to podcasts, started out listening to just music that grew kind of boring, so I started calling people. That was nice. I got to know people better and got to come out of my shell a little bit more than I had in the last 2 years. I started going to counseling appointments. It was the best decision of 2018 that I could probably say so far. If you're on the edge of going to counseling or not going to counseling or going to therapy or having mental problems, I would recommend going to counseling. I would seriously recommend it. Don't go to BetterHelp, obviously, because it's a scam. But go to someone that's licensed and actually knows what they're talking about. At this point, I also went to a doctor. I think that's what they're called. I don't know, a certain type of specialist doctor, and I got diagnosed with depression and possible really bad anxiety. And it was kind of explaining why I was nervous all the time. I had grown used to being just nervous all the time and always having anxiety and things like that. So got a little bit better then. I started taking medicine for it, and my life started to improve a little bit. My family life also continued to improve as I progressed further with counseling. My brother was still resentful for me slacking off for the last year and a half, which is understandable. And I was still not doing the work that I was supposed to be doing still. But my parents were more understanding of the situation that I was in at this point of time. At this point also, I became more increasingly interested in cars, buying the Crew 2 game, just playing it obsessively, basically, for a couple months, which you know about. And then also, there was, at this point, a 1965 Mustang that I was looking at, and it was pretty nice, missing a few parts. I'll talk about that more later in the video, though. So, at the end of 2018, I was still working as a driver for the company I worked at. I was working about 20 to 25 hours a week, um, getting about $400 a paycheck. Not bad for 20 to 25 hours a week, but not really full-time job. Um, I liked the hours that I had. It was 6:30 to 11 o'clock ish, but it really messed with my sleep schedule and did detrimental to my weight and everything like that. I continued going to counseling, and I discovered in these appointments that I was acting like a kid most of the time. I wasn't actually growing up. I was being a stupid idiot teenager when I was 20 instead of being a teenager. Um, I needed to grow up, and I needed to stop throwing my 3-year-old tantrums that I was doing at home. I also learned to better cope with my anxiety, as well as the medicine that I took helped with that as well. Um, I'd eventually stopped having days where I just wanted to stay in bed all day. I eventually wanted to start helping around the house. At this time, also, the counselor suggested that I start paying rent, and my parents gave me 3 options, which were, excuse me, the Grateful Heart special, the bare minimum, and then the gamer special. They told me with no uncertain terms that if I stayed on the last one I just mentioned, that I would be kicked out of the house when I was 21. Um, the Grateful Heart special was doing what I was doing back in 2016 when I was still at home, being helpful around the house, doing my chores and everything like that. And then the other one, the middle one, was doing my chores, but not necessarily going above and beyond that. Um, so I chose the Grateful Heart special at the end of December after I started really, my medicine was increased, and so that really helped me. Um, my family life continued to improve because of this. My brother still resents me, obviously, but what changes? Nothing changes. Um, I tried to play games with my dad, and he didn't really enjoy it, but he did it anyways because, spend time with his son. Um, when I was working as a driver, I would call my mom every night to talk to her about it because the job was super boring. It wasn't social at all. Shout out to Murphy Express for having 1, really good employees that would talk to me. 2, really good coffee that was cheap. And 3, a fountain machine with a 64-ounce cup, I think. That sounds right. That I could just fill up. It was ridiculous, and that's why I gained like 20 pounds. You can mix it, and it had a wide variety of things. Cars became more of an obsession to me by this point. I had just gotten Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. I currently have, I think, 78 hours in that game, and I've only had it for about 2 or 3 months. So I spent about 4 days in that game. And then I also got Forza Horizons 4, which I've put about 3 days into that game. I've only had it for about 2 months. I just really like those type of games, and I was a big Need for Speed fan when I was younger, so those really appealed. That was what I was trying to say to me. At this time, I also saw a Mustang for sale. And the owner was wanting $6,500 for it. I wasn't going to offer that. I was going to offer $4,000 for it. That was what a friend recommended. It was a 66 Mustang, actually. I had, at the time, thought it was a 65. Turned out it was a 66. 66 Mustang. If you don't know what they look like, they look really nice. But I went to the bank to get a loan. I hadn't saved any of my money because I was an idiot. And the bank declined my application, obviously, because A, I had no credit, B, I had no savings, and C, it was a 1966 car, so they couldn't really use it for backing or for credit. So they just said no. Oh well. There'll be more opportunities for that. Now that brings us that was at the end of 2018. Now at the beginning of 2019, this is where my life really got messed up badly. My job, I got moved back into the office. They had been talking about this for about 2 months. about me moving back into the office because they knew I didn't really enjoy driving. But I was on my feet basically constantly because I was doing a different thing instead of just sitting. Um, and man, that really hurt my feet. I don't know if you know that standing on your feet for a long time does that to you for about 4 hours in a row, but it really hurts. Eventually, I resigned from that job for reasons I'm about to explain later on in this video. But I left on good terms, and was even offered the job back when I got my life back together. Still haven't got my life back together, obviously. And I got another job working for a friend who owns rental houses. I'm starting that today, actually. I'm doing yard work and maintenance and stuff like that. Counseling, I began the year starting out seeing him every 2 weeks. And that changed for reasons I'm about to explain. I tried to improve relations with my brother during a session. He gave a lot of lip service saying that he would help me and stuff, and then he just didn't really do it. Which I don't blame him. Both my mom and dad would go, switching who would go every other time. This began back in 2018, though. And I just wouldn't expect what I'm about to say. I really, really wouldn't. My family life had improved drastically, but this is where my life gets flipped upside down. My mom comes in one day and basically yells at my dad saying, "Is this enough passion for you?" My dad looks distraught but understanding, apparently, and they go back into the bedroom and start yelling at each other, which they had never done before, at least not in front of the kids, me and my brother. They walk back out. My dad's crying, and my mom is obviously distraught as well. And my mom says that they're getting a divorce because my dad had been unfaithful. It turns out my mom had carried that baggage for over 10 months, but didn't say it to anyone, didn't tell anyone about it. Sorry. Later that week, I started looking for apartments to live with my dad because I told myself when I was 12 if they had ever got a divorce, which I never thought would happen, that I would move in with my dad. Because me and my dad have gotten along better than my mom and myself. Wrong mouse. We either have to start selling the house or prepare to sell the house or have my grandparents move in with us because they're just getting older, so that was going to happen anyways, but this really affected it anyways. And thus started my descent back into the depression that I had earlier in 2018. And that brings us to today. My channel update, which premiered earlier today, kind of covers what's going on in my chat and what's going to happen to my channel or what I want to do with my channel. Somewhat. I don't know, really. I might convert my channel over to a car restoration channel, either playing car mechanic simulator, car racing games exclusively, and, because I'm not playing Overwatch anymore, I'm not playing Minecraft. But I found a really good deal on a 1984 Nissan 300ZX, which I'll be using to get up my mind off the divorce. I got it for $200, and I'll be making some videos of me restoring it and power washing it, and really satisfying videos really to watch, hopefully. This all depends on whether or not I can get my phone storage to be happy with me. Hopefully. I hope you understand why I'm making this video, or made this video now, and why it's titled the way it is. I don't really like posting depressing things to my channel. I like to be upbeat and happy and all the time, but at this point, I've been living in a basically lie on YouTube for a while. I've been acting like I'm happy and everything's okay in my life and everything, but it's not. It's been straight trash and manure for the last 2 years, basically. I've experienced burnout from multiple things. At one point, I didn't even want to play video games anymore. I burned myself out in Overwatch, which is a game I thought I never would. And there's so much has happened to my life, my family's life as well. If you made it this far into the video, thanks. Hopefully this year turns out better than what it's looking like it's going to turn out to be. Hopefully you'll keep me in your thoughts and your prayers at this time. Keep my mom in your prayers and keep my dad in your prayers. Don't ever do what I did and keep it all inside and not show your true emotions. Don't lie to yourself, because eventually it'll take a toll on your life that isn't good for you. Thank you so much for your support on this video and on my channel. I don't know if I'm going to be posting ever again or if I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I honestly don't know. This could be the last video I ever post. Thanks.